Hey everybody, and welcome back to a new project, to a new side project, the newest one since Miner's Curse, and welcome to Pharaoh's Tomb. Yeah, you guys are maybe thinking, where's Arcadia, where is Windfells, and I have some progress in both theme parks, but I just didn't manage to get enough progress for another episode. And I had really much fun with this little side project here. That you're seeing right now, which will be a short mini-series consisting of maybe 2 or maybe even 3 episodes, because it's actually a lot bigger than I expected it to be. But I'm really happy how the whole thing and how the whole project turned out. It wasn't even my plan to make it a series in the beginning, but I think that this whole project works super good for another Speedbuild series, and I hope you guys enjoy this little spin-off, besides all of my bigger park projects that I'm doing right now. So, welcome to Pharaoh's Tomb. First of all, I want to thank you guys for your comments on the latest episode of Arcadia and on Windfells. Thank you very much for everyone who liked and who commented down below. I really implemented some of your suggestions into the parks, and I'm really happy with all your suggestions. They work really well, and you will definitely see a whole new progress in the next few weeks in Arcadia. And trust me guys, Arcadia is not too far away. I will probably make another episode ready in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So stay tuned for that, and maybe check out my Discord in case you do not want to miss anything in the future again. So first of all, if you like this video, make sure to comment down below on what changes I should do. Be fast, because while you guys are watching the video, I will probably already continue building. And maybe some changes are not possible anymore, but I'm always super happy if you guys comment down below. Make sure to subscribe to never miss any new episodes, and make sure to click the like button down onto this video below. It really helps a lot. So update 4 is pretty near for ourselves. I'm really excited to see restaurants finally coming to Planet Coaster 2. And yeah, I just wanted to make one other big park project. Ride project. We will definitely do another video when the whole new update 4 is out, and we'll definitely implement some of the new pieces and things that are coming to Planet Coaster 2 with update 4 already in this whole project. So I'm super excited that Frontier really keeps pushing out these updates, and it really looks that like Planet Coaster 2 is going into the right direction. I'm super happy with the frequency they get these updates running. So yeah, as I said earlier, welcome to Pharaoh's Tomb. You guys probably think, well, it looks a little bit like Revenge of the Mummy from Universal, and it really is my main inspiration on that one. So Revenge of the Mummy is a great classic ride, dark ride, which uses actually pretty much the same ride vehicles that we are using on the Multiverse coaster here. And I'm really happy with the whole thing, and the idea. Yeah, you guys have to imagine it was a super spontaneous idea, doing something inspired of Revenge of the Mummy. And yeah, I just wanted to make things a little bit different than in Revenge of the Mummy. Maybe the whole idea for this project was to create a Revenge of the Mummy spin-off that's way more modern and not as old as Revenge of the Mummy. And I came across the Egyptian Museum of Cairo, and you guys will see a picture right now in the video, and this is what the whole building is about actually. You really will see references, and the whole build is pretty much a theme park standard replica of the Egyptian Museum in Cairo. And I think this works really amazing. It is pretty much the same idea as Revenge of the Mummy with the Museum of Antiquities. but I just wanted to make something different, and I thought, why not use the biggest Egyptian museum out there? And I googled photos of the Egyptian museum at Cairo, and it looks absolutely amazing. It's a beautiful piece of architecture there, and I tried copying it, and I think I did a pretty reasonable job on copying the whole building, even though it took a lot of time, especially this whole archway facade here that I'm doing right now on screen. I also copied these Latin texts that are written on the building facade of the original museum. It was actually pretty hard to find any photos of the text being readable, because they all were pretty blurred, and I used AI as a help just to get the text right. But don't think that all the texts are correct, because if we come to the sides of the buildings, there are different kings of Egypt written there, and I just had no way to read it on pictures, reference pictures from the internet. So I just asked ChatGPT on Egyptian kings, and I just wrote their names there because pretty much nobody knows what's written on the museum. Maybe you guys find it out and then just let me know on the Discord. I will definitely fix that if we are talking about the future for this project. So yeah, as I said earlier, this facade is pretty much a copy of the Egyptian museum at Cairo, and I'm really happy with the whole turnout there. I also tried some things with these wooden doors for Arcadia. You will see in the next episode, and I just copied the idea of using the new western balconies, or wooden balconies, for some doorways. They work absolutely amazing for some church doors, or doors of bigger buildings, more antique buildings, or more classical buildings, and I think that looks absolutely amazing. It's really nice to have some new pieces, and you really have to say that the western pieces are absolutely versatile. You can use them in pretty much every theme, especially the wooden pieces there. So you guys are maybe asking what you are going to see in the 3 episodes that I've got here for this project. Episode 1 will be, as the title already says, will be about the queue line and our facade, obviously, that I'm building right now, and the whole ground structure that the building got. It will be a huge hall. You will see it later on in the video, because the coaster is actually not super small. It's actually quite big, and it was not super easy to fit that all into one big building. But I think it turned out pretty good. And actually, I didn't plan on going for realism for this project. But I just started building the queue line, and I thought it would be absolutely amazing going all in on realism for this coaster there. So this project will be super realistic. We are using a single rider line. You will see it later on. We'll definitely have a disability access. We'll have a loading and unloading station. So everything we need for realism will be there. So I'm really having fun with the realism there. And it's always super fun to build realistic builds and realistic coasters. So you will definitely see some cool tips or references for your realism builds in your parks as well. I really try to create these modular building parts that you can see right now on the screen, because the building actually is pretty big. So it was really handy to just have these modular wall pieces, these modular, kind of pillars there, or columns. And it really helped me with reducing the time I need for this whole facade. I think we are already like 5 hours in on this build or something like that. So it was super much work. It's actually definitely also the biggest side project that I did in Planet Coaster 2. And yeah, I really think that it is my best so far. I really love the Egyptian style and Egyptian rides. I really enjoyed Revenge of the Mummy at Universal Florida as well. I will definitely rewrite it in May, in just a month probably, which will be absolutely amazing. And it's pretty much a proof that you can do Egyptian builds super easy in Planet Coaster 2 yet. Even though there's no Egyptian pack or something like that, but the mythological pieces work super good for building Egyptian stuff, especially these builds here. It's not super a classical Egyptian build. I think it fits more into a kind of Arabian style there, but I think it, yeah, as I said earlier, the whole building in real life looks absolutely mind-blowing. And it's so amazing to see it in Planet Coaster 2 now. I actually never visited the museum, the actual museum. I obviously been to the pyramids there in Cairo, but I didn't visit the Egyptian museum. We'll probably do it one day. And here is the plates where the Egyptian kings are written on. I'm also really interested in the whole Egyptian mythology or history stuff. It's super interesting. As you can see, I'm also building a little wheelchair accessible thing there. Even though it's kind of more like a fake entrance, we'll probably not have any wheelchair people riding up there because there's pretty much nowhere to go. As I said earlier, we will definitely build a separate wheelchair accessible entrance for the whole ride, because it would be not super good to just enter through the normal pathway, through the normal queue line. I'm also rebuilding a fountain there. The original fountain is actually a lot bigger than what I'm doing right here. I mean, it's a theme park. I don't want to build a super perfect 100% measured replica of the build in Egypt. And I think it's also handy to just, adjust it to fit into a theme park. Also, these palm trees add really a lot to this whole building. And yeah, you guys are probably wondering, will this be available as a blueprint? And I really need to say, stupid 4K piece limit for blueprints. I just don't understand why we are not having a bigger piece limit. I just wanted to make it a blueprint in the beginning, but it just didn't work out. It is super hard, and I think already the facade was over 4K pieces. It's way more difficult to build a blueprint with 4K pieces than it was in Planet Coaster 1. Just because of the scaling, probably, because we can scale down our items, and it really adds loads of pieces to our builds. And I think I'm way past over 10k pieces right now with the current state the build has got. So sadly, this will be a park file. I love to put it down in my own park, I'll be honest with you guys, but yeah, I'm sadly not able to make it a blueprint. Maybe Planet Coaster will add that in the future. Maybe we will be able to build bigger blueprints. Then this will obviously come as a blueprint, but you guys will be able to check it out as a park file when the last episode is coming out, because it's just a small project, and I would just want to release it when it's completely finished. And then you guys can look at yourself. And I'm super excited to hear all your opinions about the whole building process there. Also, these new Western lights are absolutely handy for interior areas at daylight. As you can see, I am at daylight right now, and they work at daylight, thanks God. We really lack lights that work when it's bright outside in Planet Coaster 2. I don't know if the developers have that in mind, but if you guys are watching this, probably most of our lights don't work at daylight, and the new Western lights do, so there's no technical problem probably with the lights. I think it just needs to be fixed. And it's, I used this little trick by placing the normal lights there and then just putting a Western light into the lanterns, so they work at daylight as well. At nighttime, it's a little bit bright, I need to admit, but at daytime it looks absolutely amazing. And obviously the normal time our guests will enter this building will be at daytime during our park hours. So here, I am building a little office for our maybe museum director or some archaeologists or something like that. I think it turned out pretty cool, especially if we take the fact that it's not super easy to build interior stuff, for me at least, in Planet Coaster 2, because we lack a little bit of prop items. We don't have loads of props that we can place, and we really have to do props by ourselves. So I think it turned out pretty well for the pieces we've got. Also, I'm adding some little signs that are saying archaeological office and some smaller signs. Our exhibit is closed for restoration, as you can see, and you should not enter the exhibition. Maybe I just don't know yet what the story exactly will be, but a wise guy named Jan already said that he likes creating not super detailed stories and then just let the guests decide their own story. And that's actually a pretty handy thing in theme parks, and you can see it happen a lot in real world theme parks. And I really like that idea, and that's probably what I'm going for here. I mean, obviously we need to do something with a curse of the Pharaoh or something like that, because we are building a mummy Egyptian ride there. But yeah, if you guys have any ideas for the story as well, just let me know in the comments down below. I will definitely read all of your comments, and maybe we'll just build a story around your suggestions and ideas. I'm super excited. So what I'm doing right here is building a kind of replica of a huge hall at the Egyptian Museum of Cairo. This whole room here, or hall, exists in real life. Maybe I will also just show you a photo of the hall here, so you guys can see the reference there. And I'm also really happy how this whole room turned out. I've been to Dubai to Motion Gate, and they had this John Wick ride, and it was really stunning. The queue was absolutely amazing. The ride itself wasn't that good. It's a SNS, I don't know if it's called 4D coaster, but you guys probably know what I'm talking about. And they had this whole big bank hallway, which was absolutely mind-blowing. And I wanted to do something like that as well. I'm always building my queues a little bit more smaller than I'm doing it right here. And I'm really... I mean, it was hard for me to build a queue in such a big area, but yeah, just only because I'm not really used to it. But bigger theme parks actually do that. I mean, obviously this ride would only stand in a bigger theme park because it's really high budget building this whole ride. The ride system itself is already pretty expensive, and then the whole facade, which isn't actually only a facade, it's a huge hall behind there, and the whole building, queue line and everything like that, which would be really expensive. So the ride is for a bigger park anyway. Also, I wanted to create something like a Revenge of the Mummy does with the New York Main Street that is going on, or New York streets that's going on there. So the whole facade would fit pretty perfectly into a Main Street or city-like themed area. Well, sadly not as a blueprint, but at least as a park file. And also here I'm trying a super interesting thing that I saw from Stan Wolf. He did that for Wilderness Springs, and it is an absolutely amazing idea of putting these huge billboards there. And the actual real hallway of Cairo, of the Egyptian Museum at Cairo, has these windows up there, so it's pretty bright in the whole room. And I wanted to do the windows as well, but I obviously didn't want to let any light in there, because the whole room and queue should give you the illusion that you're there at night. And I think it works really amazing. I used the thunderstorm or a standard thunderstorm video on YouTube. I will show you it later on in detail and just projected it on the screen, and I think it works absolutely fine. It looks super amazing with the whole purple sky there in the room. But as I said earlier, we will have a in-depth tour of the whole progress that I've done later on in this video. Also, you guys will see some cinematic shots afterwards in the end of the video, and maybe even a on-ride of the coaster. Well, it wouldn't even make that much sense because you can't barely see anything in the whole hall. I really managed to get it super dark in Planet Coaster 2, which not always works that easy as it did here. I also used the trick one of you gave me in the comments for another video of doing these more white colored lights there, and I think it works absolutely great for the museum and for this whole exhibition hallway. I mean, you're there at night, it shouldn't be too bright, and that's exactly what the white colors do, or gray colors do in Planet Coaster. So I just placed the lanterns here, just enough to see where you're going if you're walking in the queue, and I think the lighting turned out pretty amazing. So thank you to anyone who wrote that down in the comments on the later or the last video. I just sadly don't remember who it was, but I will check out later on definitely. So here I'm using some fences to create a nice queue line. Also using these CCTV cameras. The workshop codes obviously are all in the description down below. Thank you guys for creating such amazing blueprints that I can use here. Because as I said earlier, we are going for realism on this build, and the CCTVs are absolutely handy for a realistic build, because our staff should operate our guests and our queue lines and everything. And a fun fact about this whole build also is that I actually googled for realistic hall roofs. I created some, I think they are called HVAC units on the roofs. I created some smoke, well, I just don't remember the words. I will show you the roof later on. It's also amazing, and I think it's super realistic, the roof. I think that worked pretty well. Also have some walkways on the roofs, and I'm not really sure about the window that I'm doing here. The thing is that some parts of the outer build are sticking in here, and I just can't let it open because it would look absolutely shit. So I just decided to put a black background behind the window, even though you can't really see anything from the queue line there. And here is also a funny thing that I did, is just use these boxes and crates and statues for our exhibition. We also got a coffin piece, so that's what I used as a coffin. Also thought of using these construction fences there because our exhibition is closed, but I just then decided to use these ribbon fences. And then I think they work pretty good for the whole area. They would probably not work super amazing in a real theme park because they are, well, guests can damage them pretty easily. And yeah, that's a thing. Yeah, but I think they work fine. They are also realistic. They're cheap. So if they are being damaged by our guests, we could just buy new ones or have some at our storage in theme park anywhere or something like that. So we're almost nearing the end of the speed build part of this video. I'm just doing some more things in this hallway. And that's pretty much the progress we've got for the first episode. I'm really happy with our whole progress. So it's pretty much, yeah, half of the queue is done yet. I think that the whole dark ride section for our coaster will take loads of time, but we'll see in the future definitely. I think I will finish this project pretty soon as well. So just stay tuned to see the other episodes. And I will continue the video with a quick real-time overview of the whole project, and afterwards you will see some cinematic shots Also just fixing our latest parts or the last bits of this whole queue. With the lights on, it doesn't look absolutely amazing, but at the real time or real life lighting inside this room, it looks absolutely amazing, I think. So yeah, I will not talk too much more, so thank you guys for watching the Speedbuild part if you're still there, and we will switch to the real time part. So here we are, real time, into our Pharaoh's tomb, built into our newest project, and as you guys can see, this whole building is huge. I'm really happy with the whole building and how it turned out and how it looks with the text on it and these little signs on the sides. I'm super happy, and the whole outdoor part of this building will obviously be tweaked, and I will definitely go into it again because it's nowhere near finished. This whole area is just a start for the whole build, and I will definitely go back into theming the outdoor parts as well. So it will be a small mini park actually. So right over here our queue starts for now. I just don't know yet where to put our entrance exactly, but we will just enter the area from here. And as you guys can see, the queue splits into a single rider line into our normal line that we've got here. I didn't build the single rider line yet. Also put a sign in here that single rider groups will be separated. It's a pretty common thing that you can see in the theme park. So the single rider line just stops here, and we will just enter the normal line of Pharaoh's tomb. There's a little sign, no smoking in the museum. I saw it on the Revenge of the Mummy queue as well. And we have a little sign here for the archaeological office that we are entering here, and the exhibit, which is in the great grand hall. So this is our small, office, our museum director's office or something like that. We have a poster that I found on Unsplash here. Maybe we'll use some more billboards in the future for this whole project. And we have another sign, exhibit closed for restoration, unauthorized personnel only beyond this point. So our guests should get a little bit scared. So after here, you will enter the mind-blowing, huge, grand hall for the museum. And welcome to Pharaoh's tomb. That's the Museum of Cairo there. And as you can see, I'm really happy with the lighting. We've also used some, fake thunderstorms up there. I need to unpause the game so that you can see it, but I will just stop it again because of the music. But I think that looks absolutely amazing. Thanks to Stan Wolf, who actually had this idea, or I just stole it from him. And the new billboards, using it like them, or like I'm using them here, is absolutely amazing. We also have a small coffin there, which is part of our exhibition. Some crates, some statues, also some scaffoldings, just to show that this whole area is under construction or under maintenance, something like that. And then we are just continuing our way up here, overlooking the whole exhibit area. And as you guys can look down there, it's really stunning if you stand in line. I think it would not be too boring standing in line here, and I'm really happy how this whole thing here turned out, especially from above. It's really great. Oh, what's happening there? Wow. I wanted to create maybe a small movie showing the safety stuff for the coaster or something like that. It's a pretty common thing in the American theme parks as well. I'm seeing these safety videos before entering the coaster. So that's why I just decided to put these billboards in. And we also have some CCTV cameras pretty much everywhere throughout the whole building. I think somewhere down is another one you can see right now. And the workshop code for the bins here, and for the CCTV will be in the description down below, obviously. So we continue our way there. We have some removable fences there, and here it's pitch black. Going into our next queue area, we will pass the window there, but as you guys can see, I just did not touch this whole area here, and we'll definitely continue it from there. So the whole building is massive. I am just showing it to you from above. It's really big, especially if you compare it to the size of the whole park. But I think it's not too big. It would fit into a medium-sized high-budget theme park as well. So I'm really happy with the whole building in general. We have used some halls there. I also created some of these units there. I think they turned out pretty well. Maybe I will put them into the workshop so you guys can download them. And I also added some roof realism stuff. I think, or I know it's pretty much going up there, but it's pretty common. If you look at the buildings in real life on Google Maps or something like that, you will see loads of these whole safety and fire prevention stuff on the buildings there, and I think this is really realistic. Also put on some walkways for our staff members. They are all connected, all walkable, all realistic. I think we have ladders everywhere. Our HVAC units are accessible from pretty much everywhere, and we also will have a little staircase going on there. So the whole staircase will go down there. We have the problem that the coaster is there, but I will definitely figure it out. So we have a realistic stairway also going down, because as I said earlier, we are going for total realism on this whole build. So that's pretty much it for this episode. Next episode we'll definitely focus around the station and the first dark ride sections of our coaster. If you guys have any suggestions, just let me know in the comments down below. I will be super happy to read all of your comments. Make sure to click the like button, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm super excited to hear all your feedback. Also make sure to check out my Discord server and just stay a little bit longer, because now we will jump right into our cinematics to end this video ride. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time.